Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, GMB SHOW. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The Chase host recognized a player on the ITV show, but it wasn't for the reason viewers might think. Bradley Walsh, host of The Chase, was left gobsmacked after recognizing a contestant on the latest episode of the ITV quiz show. On Wednesday's episode, January 29th, the popular game show host welcomed 4 new contestants, Rachel, Cyan, Noel, and John, who were ready to test their general knowledge. As former Coronation Street actor Bradley introduced the contestants, he did a double take when John approached the podium for his cash build-around, telling him his face looks familiar. In an unexpected turn of events, John revealed that he and Bradley had played in a charity football match together 2 decades ago, even recalling some of Bradley's less than sportsmanlike behavior during the game. As John, a retail marketing consultant from Cheshire, discussed his job and hobbies, Bradley interrupted, saying, "For some peculiar reason, I do recognize your face. Why do I recognize your face?" John then explained, "We actually played against each other for a charity match. You were playing for Rod Stewart's All-Stars. There were 3 games, one in Wembley, one in Wigan, and one at Rod's house." He then recounted a humorous incident where Bradley was irate over a decision made during the match. The Wembley one was interesting because you broke through and had a shot. It was a screamer over the top of my head. I didn't get to it. It hit the side of the bar, bounced down with spin, came back out to me, and we played on, and you were going absolutely mad. "Was I?" Brad queried. "You weren't happy because the referee was saying play on, so I played on. You were saying it was over the line. I was saying it wasn't. Brad, I've got to tell you, 20 years ago, it wasn't." "It wasn't over the line," chuckled Brad. "No, it wasn't," John responded with a mischievous laugh. "Well, it's lovely to see you again," the host jested as they carried on with the game. The contestants were joined by chaser Jenny Ryan, who quickly chimed in, stating, "Well, you beat Brad at least." John made it back to the team successfully, as did Noel, banking $10K. However, player Cyan couldn't keep up with the chaser's excellent performance and was sent home. Law student Rachel was next, and despite only securing $2K in her cash build-around, she boldly opted for the top offer of $50K. But after missing the first 2 questions, she was swiftly caught, leaving just 2 players in the final chase. Bradley Walsh had hosted thousands of contestants on The Chase, but the moment the player walked onto the set, the smile dropped from his face. "All right, let's meet our first contestant," Bradley called out, forcing his usual cheery tone. The studio lights blazed, the audience clapped, and the cameras panned to a tall man with a shy grin. "Name and where are you from?" Bradley asked, but his eyes were narrowing, scanning every line of the contestant's face. "My name's Dean, from Watford." Bradley's breath caught. Watford. A memory flickered. A muddy football pitch, the smell of grass, and a teenage Bradley Walsh sprinting past defenders while Dean, 2 years younger, cheered from the sidelines. It had been 40 years since Bradley had seen Dean, the neighborhood's kid who always wanted to play football with the older boys. They used to call him Little Dean when he tagged along, trailing after Bradley and the others with scuffed boots too big for his feet. Bradley remembered that grin, the same one Dean had now as he stood nervously under the bright ITV lights. The audience sensed something was different as Bradley paused, blinking, his card shaking slightly in his hand. "Dean, sorry, you from St. Albans Road, mate?" Bradley finally asked, voice softening. Dean's eyes widened and he burst out laughing. "I can't believe you remember. You used to nutmeg me on the pitch every week." The audience gasped, then cheered, as Bradley let out a shout of surprise and clapped his hands together, pacing across the floor. "I don't believe it. I knew I recognized you, mate." Bradley couldn't hide the grin spreading across his face, and for a moment, the Chase set melted away, replaced by the damp, cold mornings of their youth. He slapped Dean on the back, shaking his head. "This is mental. We're live on telly, and here you are, Little Dean." The chasers, waiting off stage, peered around the corner, watching the heartwarming moment unfold. Even Ann Hegarty cracked a smile backstage. Dean's nerves seemed to vanish as they launched into the cash builder, old banter slipping into the questions. What's the capital of France? Paris. And you still owe me a goalpost you broke back in '79, Dean quipped, making Bradley burst out laughing so hard he struggled to ask the next question. When it came time to face the chaser, Dean turned to Bradley with a steady grin. Let's win this for the St. Albans lads. As the game continued, it wasn't just about the money. It was about a shared past. Two Watford boys on different paths reunited under the ITV lights. Bradley watched Dean with a proud smile, genuinely rooting for him, even sneaking in a thumbs up before each question. And as the final chase began, the crowd could see it in Bradley's eyes. He wasn't just hosting a game show anymore. He was cheering for an old friend, proving that sometimes, even on the chase, the best prize is the memory of where you came from and the people who remind you who you are.